Right, so hey everybody, Shane here, daily-astrocat.com, and today is Saturday, or Catterday, depending on how you like to look at it. It's the 2nd of May, so here we go. We've got astrology for you, because that's what I do here. We do astrology time, right? So our moon's going to start out void of course in Scorpio at 4:47 in the morning, and will be so until 2:33 later on Sunday. So we're going to have a full day of void of course moon. Mercury will enter Taurus today at 10:57 in the morning, from fiery Aries to the calm and tranquil realm of Taurus. Now, hopefully your mouth didn't get in too much trouble yesterday. Yeah. Look, Mercury is moving at a really, really fast clip right now, and he's only going to be in Taurus until 2 weeks from now. Okay, that's kind of fast, right? So try to set aside some time to capture some of this calm and assured energy. Now, how do we do that? Well, remember, Mercury governs our senses, and time spent outdoors will be some of the most spiritually rewarding things that we can do. Did it yesterday, let me tell you, and it was fun. So, look, we're doing. That's a recipe for, like, total unhappiness. You got to mix the doing with the undoing, with the unwinding, with the whatever you want to call it, right? I posted actually a picture to my account yesterday of some grilled vegetables that I did last night. Fantastic, and they tasted as good as they looked. And let me tell you, actually, they taste better than they looked, because it was just, there's no words that could possibly describe how good those things were. I mean, it was lemony, it was smoky, it was delicious, and it was just unbelievable. So think about that. And that was outside, right? That was sitting outside in the backyard, just on a beautiful day. Just enough chill in the air, so there wasn't too many people outside. Not very many bugs either. So very, very interesting. But this is the time of year to really enjoy some of that stuff. Now, look, take time to elevate others and share in collective joys. All right. I have a lot of people call me uncle on sometimes in chat and stuff like that particularly on TikTok. My actual niece commented on the vegetables, and it was fantastic. So Elizabeth, if you're watching, if you see this one, yeah, I actually asked her if we were getting together later on in the year. She's engaged. I'm not sure when, though. We'll find out. But that'll definitely be a wedding that I will be attending. So anyway, love you. So let's just talk about this. So don't be stingy, okay? Sharing those collective joys. Reach out, elevate others, and look, green energy intentionally released ensures that energy is amplified and returned. I'm not going to repeat that, so just play it back in your head. Today's keyword is propagation. Now, the color is black olive. The moon has me focusing on the hidden strengths I possess. Oh, what were those? Well, some of them are not so hidden, like the ability to cook and stuff like that. There's other things too, right? Now, Rebecca pointed out in my website in a chat. And look, I was extremely grateful for that, but I was also horrified at the same time, because I hadn't spent much time refining it since I wrote the code, like, almost 9 years ago. Okay? So, look, I just was like, I wrote it and I was like, it works. And then just keep it perpetuating it, right? What ended up happening really was that after I wrote the code for it, I just was, I was playing around with the content idea, and that's how the astrology came about, right? It was just like, okay, I can make this so it can repeat every day. What am I going to write about? Oh, well, I'll write about astrology and cats. Why not, right? It's evolved since then. I've become more of an astrologer and less of a slinger of cattails. However, the cattails did lead to some very interesting astrology, and actually it just led to the shape and the current format of this particular endeavor. So to work correctly, it required roughly an hour or two of cutting and pasting into the JavaScript document, and that would be unique for each week. And then, hopefully you didn't accidentally cut off a snippet, like a miss a semicolon or a double quotation mark. Now, I haven't done anything like that for a while because it's just so time consuming, right? Because I don't have that time. Carrie used to help me out, and she would do that. But now our schedules, they're too crazy. And so there were always errors that would occur, right? So now it was like, I haven't done it for probably most of this year. I think I did it maybe once or twice this year. We used to do it every week, right? But now I'm the reason why I'm telling you this is because through the use of technology, through AI, I was able to once again post the content ahead, okay? So if you go to the website today, you would actually see where it would be for this particular day, okay? Maybe not. It's shorter, right? Because I ad-lib a lot in this, but you'll see what the bones are of what I'm talking about, and you'll see what I'm actually reading versus what I'm saying. The reading is very important, though, because that writing down the words and everything like that is a cathartic process, and that's part of how this whole endeavor is manifested, right? And it's manifested through actually writing. So it's just brought to life from my mind by doing that, refining some of the words and everything like that. And then I just change them just a little bit when I'm presenting it. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because I've been talking to you about technology, telling you how to use it, right? So now able to just throw that, take whatever document this is on, throw a little snippet in there in AI, tell it the JavaScript format that I want it to take. I just feed that into it, and it automatically fills that out. I can put that into another code compiler, check it, and then upload it. Kind of cool, right? Now, this will begin a slow shift away from social media and quick hits and into more in-depth learning journey, because what it's going to do is it's going to reinforce the website, because going to be going through different parts of what the website is and updating it and making it look more appealing, right? Adding more functionality to it. So in that way, begin to produce more content for the website, as well as doing the other things too, because all of these things will all work together. Now, let's see if we can propagate this idea. Now, let me ask you a question. How's that for picking our seedlings? A little bit too much information about what I do and what I'm doing, but if I propagate this idea and I can see if it's sustainable or not, right? That way there, because I do write these all the time, right? And I can write them as far out as a month, but not months in advance, really. Typically, I've gotten probably 2-3 weeks is where I've been average before the last year when everything started going crazy. However, look, I just outlined one of my goals. So now what about the rest of you? I'm done talking about that. So now the last aspect of the moon is a Jupiter trine. This promises expansion. The void of course moon might as well tap you on the shoulder and point to your seedlings, okay, and say, hey, look here. Because if it taps you on the shoulder, it's behind you, right? That's why we're dealing with existing things. We're not starting anything new today because of the void of course moon. Now, that's an important message, right? Don't leave your seedlings behind. We've had plenty of time to purge ourselves of any doubts. What is the key to all of this that the week has been leading up to? Find pleasure in the things that you do, right? Just find it. We need to do that. We need to make sure that we if you don't enjoy it at some level, look, it's time to try something else. If you don't, right? For those who can stand up for themselves, welcome to the garden. Propagate your seedlings, weed them, water them, and watch them grow. Uranus and Venus in Gemini are a wild card here. And this crop can really catch on if nurtured and cared for in the proper manner. All right? Now, apologies for my eyes because the trees just burst yesterday, right? I mean, we put peony cages on the peonies around the yard, and I think they grew 2 inches in the time that we actually put the cages on in the morning, and then in the afternoon when we got home. So, look, now the angry words can leave your system, right? The headaches, they may very well subside. Mercury will enter Taurus. There will be time for counting your blessings in the next few weeks. How will you secure them over the next coming months? This is where the patience and strength of Taurus will help us shore up our ideas and offerings. Flashy crap is just that if it isn't serving a purpose. Practical earth energy will help to ground this wildly fluctuating Uranus in Gemini for a few weeks. Take advantage of this chance to learn how to use your technology in a way that is similar to how I was planning on doing it with my website and beyond. Okay, so in 1924, U.S. President Calvin Coolidge proclaimed ancient lava fields in Idaho as the craters of the Moon National Monument in order to, quote, preserve the unusual and weird volcanic formations, end quote. That kind of makes you miss Silent Cal, right? And our birth is in 1630. Yongle, I believe that's Yongle. He's an emperor of the Ming Empire from 1402 to 1424. He's born in Yingtian, the Yuan Empire in China. He died, like I said, 1424. I only included him because when I read it the first time, I read Yongle as Yongle. That rhymes with dongle. And that's it. Let's recap, shall we? Our color. What's our color today, Shane? Black olive. And the key word is propagation. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you so much for coming by. Drop me some comments. Drop me some hearts. Drop me everything. Like, share, do everything you need to do with this video. Today is starting to get better. Today's the 6th. Happy astrocatting.